Sometimes, no matter how strong, wise, or prepared you are, life throws storms that break your spirit. You kneel down not in surrender, but in weariness, wondering if you'll ever rise again. If this moment feels too heavy, if the weight you're carrying seems endless, then this message is for you. Because what you can't control is not your defeat, it's your doorway to divine power. There are battles you were never meant to fight. There are storms you were never meant to navigate alone. The moment you try to fix everything yourself, you shrink the power working for you. Trust begins when control ends. And what if the delay, the pain, the silence is not punishment, but preparation? When your world is falling apart, it may actually be falling into place. You don't have to understand it. You just have to release it. The greatest strength is not in fighting harder. It's in surrendering smarter. When you release what you can't control, you create room for the miraculous. Life will always have valleys, shadows, and unknowns. But peace isn't found by avoiding them. It's found by trusting the hand that guides you through them. Every setback is a setup. Every unanswered prayer is a redirection. Every disappointment is a divine appointment in disguise. You are not forsaken, you are being formed. Even in silence, heaven is working. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, everything is shifting. Stop trying to force the outcome. Let go of your timeline. Hand over the pieces. Let faith do what force never can. You're not meant to carry this alone. The burden is not yours to bear, it's yours to release. Some things are too big for your understanding, but not too big for your trust. That's where the transformation begins. When you say, I don't know how, but I still believe, that moment right there is when the divine plan kicks in. You're not weak because you're tired. You're not failing because it's hard. You're growing, and sometimes growth looks like breaking before blooming. In moments of struggle, you don't need more answers. You need deeper trust. Let the chaos around you be the canvas for a higher plan unfolding. What if your loss is a lesson? What if your delay is a deliverance? What if this season is exactly what you needed, not to destroy you, but to define you? You see, when you can't trace the hand, trust the heart, because the one who formed you didn't forget you. Breathe. Release. Trust. You don't need all the answers right now. You just need to keep walking, even if it's with tears in your eyes. What you surrender will be multiplied. What you trust will be transformed. What you let go will return better, fuller, stronger. Stop replaying the past. Stop fearing the future. Stay rooted in the present and watch purpose rise from the pieces. When you hand over what you can't control, you activate what you never imagined. You align with something greater than logic, timing, or your limited view. You're not late. You're not lost. You're not forgotten. You're exactly where you're meant to be at the edge of something bigger than you. Trust doesn't mean you won't feel afraid. It means you move anyway, knowing you're not alone. Your pain has a purpose. Your journey has a reason. And what feels like the end could be the beginning of something greater. Stop asking, why me? And start declaring, watch me. Watch me rise. Watch me grow. Watch me release trust and walk into what's mine. The moment you let go, the moment you stop controlling, it's the moment you open yourself to divine acceleration. So today, stand still, not in defeat, but in faith. Let your heart be quiet. Let your hands release what they've been clinging to. You don't need to hold everything together. The one who holds galaxies together is holding you. This isn't your breaking point, it's your breakthrough. And when the pieces don't make sense, remember the plan was never in your control, but it's always been in your favor. What you release in faith becomes what God transforms in power. The moment you let go of control is the moment you open the gate to miracles. Faith isn't just belief, it's surrender in motion. It's the silent trust that whispers, I may not see the path, but I will take the step. When you release fear, doubt, and pressure, you allow divine strength to take over. The weight you carried wasn't yours to lift alone. You weren't created to bear everything, only to believe in the one who can. Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means transitioning from your strength to divine intervention. It means the battle is no longer yours. What you put down, heaven picks up. What you release in faith becomes sacred currency. You give up worry, and in return, you gain peace. You give up control and gain guidance. You give up fear and step into favor. Release isn't retreat, it's divine strategy. It's not the end, it's the real beginning. The power you've been praying for was waiting for your release. Surrendering is not weakness, it is the highest form of spiritual strength. The world may tell you to fight harder, hold tighter, push more, but wisdom whispers, let go. Strength isn't always force, sometimes it's stillness. Sometimes the strongest person is the one who knows when to stop striving and start trusting. Surrender is the courage to believe that letting go doesn't make you smaller, it opens you to something bigger. It's the knowing that your own strength has limits, but divine strength is limitless. When you stop wrestling with what you can't change, peace enters. It's not about giving up the dream, it's giving up the fear surrounding it. When you surrender, you move from chaos to clarity. You begin to see the purpose behind the pain. You feel a divine calm that logic can't explain. You rise not by control, but by connection. You understand that true power is in yielding. It's not defeat. It's direction. The plan may not be visible, but the purpose is always active. You may not understand why things are happening the way they are. But just because you can't see the blueprint doesn't mean the builder isn't working. Every delay, every detour, every heartbreak is being shaped into something sacred. Purpose doesn't always scream, it often whispers behind closed doors. When you feel forgotten, you're being refined. When you feel lost, you're being led. Sometimes the purpose is not in the destination, but in the strength you develop during the journey. You are being prepared for something bigger than your confusion. Purpose has layers, timing, and divine logic that doesn't fit your calendar. Trust that just because it's invisible doesn't mean it's inactive. There's movement in the unseen. There's progress in the quiet. The path is not always lit up, but your next step will always be provided. You're not alone in the unknown. Delays are not denials, they are divine alignments in disguise. When the door doesn't open, it doesn't mean you're unworthy, it might mean something better is behind another one. You may cry over delays today, only to thank God for them tomorrow. Delay is the divine pause where preparation happens. It's in the waiting that character is built. It's in the silence that strength is formed. What feels like rejection may be protection. Timing is more important than speed. A flower doesn't bloom when forced, it blossoms in season. Your breakthrough has an appointment, not a deadline. The delay is the space between your request and heaven's perfect response. You are not being ignored, you're being intricately positioned. The pieces are being arranged in ways you cannot yet perceive. Don't curse the pause, embrace it. Because when it finally comes, it will be more than you ask for. Divine alignment always beats human timing. When control ends, miracles begin. As long as you're clutching the wheel with white-knuckled fear, there's no room for divine hands to guide it. Control gives a false sense of security. It convinces you that you are the source, the planner, the fixer. But freedom is found in surrender. The moment you release your grip is the moment something greater takes over. Control limits possibilities to what you can see. But faith opens doors to what you can't imagine. Miracles don't need your logic, they need your permission. When you step back, the supernatural steps in. Life isn't meant to be micromanaged, it's meant to be walked in faith. Miracles are birthed where trust is deep and pride is low. The tightest grip often brings the greatest anxiety, but open hands receive more. Let go, not because you failed, but because you're ready for what's bigger. Your breakthrough is waiting at the end of your control. The greatest breakthroughs often come after the greatest silence. When heaven seems quiet, it's not because you're forgotten. It's because you're being formed in silence. Think of the seed that grows in the dark before it breaks through the soil. The quiet seasons are not empty, they are sacred. When everything feels paused, the roots are going deeper. In silence, you learn patience. In stillness, you gain clarity. The breakthrough you seek isn't delayed, it's being built. Don't mistake silence for absence. Often the quiet is the loudest preparation. Your faith grows when there's nothing else to hear. Your strength multiplies when there's nothing else to hold on to but trust. The wait trains your vision. The hush prepares your heart. And then suddenly everything shifts. The silence gives way to sound. The dark gives birth to light. And you realize it was never still, it was sacred. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. Hard times don't always mean you've done something wrong. Sometimes they mean you're being elevated. Pressure makes diamonds. Fire purifies gold. The pain you're enduring isn't without purpose. Preparation often feels like breaking, but it's not destruction, it's construction. You're being shaped into the version of yourself that can handle what's coming. You're being matured for a mission greater than your comfort. Trials don't come to stop you, they come to strengthen you. You are walking through the forge, not the finish line. What feels like loss is actually layering. What feels like hardship is holy hands molding your destiny. Every tear, every ache, every delay, it's part of the design. You're not being punished. You're being trusted with a greater purpose. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means making space for greater. When you release what no longer serves you, you invite what's meant for you. Letting go is not failure, it's wisdom. It's recognizing that clinging to the past blocks the blessings of the future. You were not designed to carry everything forever. Some relationships, expectations, and dreams must be released so something better can take their place. The act of letting go is the act of trusting what's ahead. You're not abandoning your dreams, you're aligning them. You're not quitting, you're clearing. What's leaving your life might be the very thing blocking your growth. When your hands are empty, they're finally ready to receive. The universe doesn't punish, release it, multiplies it. Let go, not in fear, but in faith. Something greater is trying to reach you, but your grip on the past is in the way. You can't rewrite the past, but you can trust the author of your future. Regret changes you the moment you can no longer change. But hope liberates you into possibilities you haven't even imagined. You don't need to fix what happened, you need to focus on what's coming. The pen is still moving. The story isn't over. Every chapter has a purpose, even the ones filled with pain. The past teaches, but it should never define. Your mistakes do not cancel your mission. You've been forgiven before you even knew you were broken. Trust that the author writes with eternal wisdom. What you thought was a period may only be a comma. Don't judge your story by the middle. The ending has already been crafted with glory. Keep turning the page. Keep walking the path. The past is closed, but your purpose is wide open. Sometimes unanswered prayers are the greatest protection. What you begged for may have broken you. What you didn't get may have saved you. Not receiving something doesn't mean you weren't hurt. It means you were loved enough to be redirected. Protection doesn't always look like a shield. It sometimes looks like a no. The closed doors were not rejections. They were reroutes. You may cry now, but one day you'll thank God for what didn't happen. The unanswered prayers are often the ones that spare you from what you can't see. You're not being denied. You're being defended. Every silence holds strategy. Every no holds a hidden yes. The things that didn't work out were never meant to. Don't mourn what was never yours. Celebrate the divine intervention you didn't recognize. One day you'll look back and see that the unanswered prayers were mercy in disguise. Peace doesn't come from having control. It comes from trusting the outcome. You can organize your days, plan your steps, even speak your intentions, but peace arrives only when you release the results. Control tries to micromanage life, but trust flows with it. When your peace depends on circumstances, it breaks with them. But when your peace depends on trust, it stands in any storm. You were never meant to orchestrate everything. Let life unfold without forcing it. Even when the path is uncertain, the promise remains. You may not understand the route, but you can rest in the outcome. True peace is the quiet confidence that what is for you will never pass you. When your heart is anchored in trust, you can smile in the unknown. You walk with assurance, not because you know the next step, but because you know you're guided. Stop trying to control every detail. Surrender the how and when. Keep doing your part, but let heaven handle the rest. Trust creates space for peace to flourish. You can breathe now. What breaks you today may be the very thing that builds you tomorrow. Pain doesn't mean your life is falling apart. It may mean something new is being built. Brokenness has a strange beauty. It cracks the surface to reveal deeper strength. When your heart feels shattered, remember, seeds must break before they bloom. Tears aren't signs of weakness. They are water for your growth. The things that bruise your soul also awaken your purpose. Your struggles are not wasted. They are sculpting the version of you that can carry the next blessing. Each trial chisels away the old and makes room for the extraordinary. Don't despise the breaking that's preparing you. What hurt you may be healing you in ways you don't see yet. Brokenness is not the end of the story. It's a turning point. Let what breaks you refine you, not define you. You'll rise stronger than ever. The cracks will not be scars, they will be stories of survival and strength. Stop chasing clarity and start embracing trust. You want all the answers? You want to see the full map before taking a single step. But that's not how transformation works. Faith is built in uncertainty. Trust is forged in the fog. You won't always have clarity, but you can always have direction. Your soul knows where to go, even when your mind doesn't. Stop demanding full visibility, walk with spiritual vision. Sometimes the next step only appears after you take the first. You weren't created to figure out everything. You were made to believe even in the in-between. Clarity is a gift, but trust is a decision. When you stop needing constant proof, when you start moving with power, you stop delaying your journey waiting for perfect signs. Instead, you walk boldly in purpose. Let go of needing all the facts. Trade your questions for confidence. The light you need will come as you go. Faith never leaves you stranded. You don't need to have all the pieces, just the faith to keep walking. Life rarely shows you the full puzzle before asking you to move. But each step you take in faith reveals another part of the picture. You may feel incomplete, unsure, or unqualified, but you're not immobile. Progress isn't about knowing everything. It's about trusting enough to go anyway. The path may twist, but it's still leading you forward. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a willing heart. Just one more step, one more try, one more prayer can open the next door. When you walk in faith, doors open where there were walls. Resources appear where there was lack. Strength rises where there was weakness. Stop waiting until you feel ready. You grow stronger with every step you take. Let your courage rise above your doubt. Let your vision push past your fear. Your pieces are enough for your purpose. Trust the journey. Even if you can't trace the entire map, the burden was never yours to carry. It was always meant to be surrendered. You weren't created to carry the weight of the world. You were designed to release it. You've held on too long thinking it's your responsibility to fix everything. But freedom begins where surrender starts. The heaviness in your heart isn't a life sentence. It's an invitation to lay it down. Let your soul breathe again. Let the weight fall from your shoulders. You are not alone in this. Help is waiting, strength is available, but it begins when you open your hands. Release what is draining you. Surrender what is beyond you. You are not abandoning responsibility. You are aligning with grace. The burden doesn't make you strong, trust does. When you surrender, peace enters. When you let go, lightness returns. You are not failing by releasing the burden. You are finally choosing freedom. Surrender isn't giving up, it's growing up in faith.